Welcome to the Waseca Small Town Big Stories podcast, sponsored by Bird's Eye Foods and Itron. I'm your host, Ann Fitch, the Executive Director of the Waseca Area Chamber of Commerce, where we promote business and enhance community. Today I'm joined at the Suburban Furniture Table by Jacob Doherty from Waseca County Auto Sales. Welcome, Jacob.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too. This is cool.
I know, it is really cool, actually.
Yeah.
I sometimes I forget how cool this is that our little city has this podcast.
Well, that's what's crazy. It's right here in town, like right in the heart of Waseca.
It is, and people often ask me, where are you recording this? Or do you go to Mankato? Nope, right on State Street here at Small Town Medium Production.
Big metropolis of Waseca.
It is. And right before we got on here, I learned that this is not your first time in front of a microphone.
No, I do. I do this on Tuesday mornings over in Owatonna on the radio station. And then for 7 years, I've been doing Friday mornings at Owatonna for the radio.
So every Tuesday morning, you're on Crew 92 Country.
Yep.
And so you just do the morning show with Brad Kubat?
Yeah, we get to, shoot the shit and
that's exciting.
Yeah.
So tell me how that started.
Well, I'd been doing over there on Fridays for, like I said, 7 years, I think, and talking about Waseca County Auto Sales, whatever. And then one day they were like, they had lost the co-host or whatever. And I was like, well, why don't you let me? Are you serious? Would you do that? And I was like, I guess I was kind of kidding, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. And so we tried it a couple mornings, and I've been doing it for, good Lord, 4 or 5 months now, probably something like that. So it's been fun.
That's fantastic. How just talking about Waseca County Auto Sales, your dealership, evolved into, well, I guess I'm doing a morning show now.
It's the one day a week that I have open in the mornings. And it's something that it's hard because it takes time, right? It eats up 3 hours of my morning, but it's something that I enjoy. It's fun. It's spontaneous. It's who knows what we're going to talk about today. It's not really, I don't kind of like right now, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it's always a good time. So
that's the best part about these podcasts. Like, I don't think our viewers and listeners know, I don't do a whole lot of prep before this, because that's the exciting part, is you don't know what we're going to talk about, and I don't either.
I have no idea. So, yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about your business, Waseca County Auto Sales, today. We're going to talk about you, Jacob. We're going to talk about why you do what you do, because what you do at Waseca County Auto Sales is exciting, it's fun, and I think it's meaningful because I like that you talk about you're not going to put a car into someone's hands that you wouldn't drive yourself. Correct.
I've kind of started like that, 7, 8 years ago. I can't even remember. I think it's about 7 now. And it's kind of been the way we built. It's been word of mouth. It's been trying to be upfront and honest with people. Not every car is perfect, and we know that, but we go through it. We want to make sure it's good for you. And if you have an issue, like, come talk to us about it. We can't make it right if we don't know about it. And so really try to have an open line of communication, I guess, is.
Absolutely. And it's unfortunate that historically used car dealerships have this reputation of being dishonest or slimy. And I don't think that's what's going on I know that's not what's going on at Waseca County Auto Sales. Your customers seem to be repeat customers, and they come back and they're very loyal to you. And if that was the case out at Waseca County Auto Sales, they wouldn't be coming back. They'd be one and done, and word of mouth would be getting around if you were not honest out there.
What's crazy is this just happened, I don't know, was it 3 months ago or something? And I had a gentleman stop in, hey, I'm looking for this. And I'm like, who told you to stop by? And he's like, actually, there was 3 new car stores in 2 new car stores in Owatonna and 1 in Faribault that said, go talk to that guy in Waseca. He's got they were vans, stuff like that. And they recommended he comes talk to me. And it was like, that's kind of crazy, to be quite honest with you,
That's a testament to what you're doing, that your reputation is getting around Southern Minnesota, that you're the guy to see for quality used vehicles.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, I don't know, I think good things take time, and it's definitely taken time, but I guess the old adage of like the snowball, it starts to roll and it gets bigger and bigger, and it's happening little by little. We've been selling cars, I guess, all over in the southern states, northern states, out east, out west. I've have transport show up and load a couple vans or cars, and they take off, and it's kind of cool. Gary, one of my guys, he delivers them for me too. He's drove them down to Texas and then hop on an airplane and flown home. You know,
geez.
Yeah. So we've all over the place. It's different. It's different every day. I don't know what I'm getting into.
Oh, just like this podcast.
Just like this podcast.
How do you reach those customers that are all over the U.S.? The
World Wide Web is an amazing thing. What are we on? Like 3 or 4 different websites, like third-party websites. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we have our own website, and so we get phone calls from all over the place, as well as a different side of the business. But we're starting to wholesale more, so I'm trying to buy larger lots of vehicles. So, instead of buying a Ford F-150, I try to buy 10 Ford F-150s and then sell, 3 of them retail and 7 of them wholesale, or, and I'm just making something up. Sure. But just trying to expand that business and bring, I guess, more jobs, more like keep the ability for my employees to keep growing. And I don't want them to get bored. I get bored. I don't want to do the same thing every day. I want to keep doing something new. And so I just kind of assume that they want to do the same, and they grab the bull by the horns and go. And I love it. Like it's like I said, it's different every day.
Oh yeah. You are a guy that has to keep moving, and you got to keep it fresh.
Most definitely. I get like, what is it? ADD, ADHD. Like I get bored. Like let's go do something instead of just sit here, So.
Yes. You're a guy that is difficult to nail down for this podcast.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm very happy that you're here. Where do you find your cars at? Where do you have to go to get them? And how do you suss out the quality vehicles?
That is hard. So obviously the older the vehicle gets, the harder it is to find a good one, right? Or you find one and then you have to bring it back to life, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You bring it through the shop and you shake it, what we call shake it down, and check the suspension and the engine and try to drive it and make sure everything sounds good and is running correctly. It shifts well. I love buying like that 2020, 2021, like that newer vehicle, mm-hmm. Because they are easier to like say like this is a great vehicle, right? But then you step into that 2021, the price is up there higher. So there's a need for that $10,000 car as much as there's a need for that $40,000 car. But the biggest thing is every single vehicle goes through the shop. And so the 2020s, 2021, 2022s, I buy blindly. I just bought 17 vans in the last week and never seen them, never touched them, never drove them, but they all have 10, 12, 15, 22,000 miles on them. So we just stroke a check, get the vans, people go pick them up, get them brought down, run them through the shop, make sure the oil's fresh, air filters are good, tires are good, brakes are good, make sure the suspension, everything's good. The cool thing with those they're all under factory warranty. So if the motor blows up tomorrow, take it to GM, take it to Ford, take it to Ram, and they'll put a new motor in it, because they're all under factory warranty. Obviously that older vehicle, we still run through the shop and still do everything. The biggest thing is we tell every customer, it's a car. It's going to break down. I promise you. Right. Like something is going to fail. Something is going to break. We're big on warranties. Mechanics, tires aren't covered under brakes or under warranty, but those major mechanical things are expensive. Parts and everything have gone through the roof. So a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 warranty over a 5 or 6 year period. It's cheap insurance. It really is.
Big time.
So.
And I think maybe people don't realize this, but out at Waseca County Auto Sales, you have a full shop to work on the vehicles before they get to the customer and then afterwards as well. That
has been the most fun. Honestly, it's here you go. Here's your car, Ann. Thank you. Have a great day. We appreciate it. And then you come back and see us and say, hey, I need the oil changed. Hey, can you rotate my tires? Hey, this thing's making a goofy noise. And then we get to build that lasting relationship with the customer. And and build like a rapport with that car even because we've seen it. We've got to touch it, drive it, and we kind of know what it is to begin with. The other thing is the warranties we sell. It's really cool. They've got $0 deductible. A lot of the times we can do what's called like kind of a bumper to bumper warranty. So it's not going to cover tires. It's not going to cover brakes, but it will cover everything else. And so you drop your car off. I've got a loaner. Here you go. I'll call you when it's done. You let me make your problem my problem. And
Gosh. So you're selling warranties on the used cars that you sell?
Correct.
Really?
Yeah. And so like something silly, a rotor, a caliper seizes up and it messes up your rotor and your brake pads. They won't cover the brake pad and the rotor, but the new caliper that's $150, $200, they'll replace that. You put new brakes on it and we're good to go. If your motor seized up tomorrow, we bring it in the shop. It's not just, shake your head and there's a motor in it. It takes time. You got to work through with the warranty company, but we do that every day. So I'm a big believer in the warranties, especially after seeing what it costs to fix. I think I have 80, 90 cars on the lot.
Wow.
So we see a lot of vehicles, personal vehicles on top of our vehicles, and I get to stroke the check. I know what it costs to fix them every day, and it's expensive.
This has a real dealership feel to it. You're for a used car lot, essentially, this has a real dealership feel to it.
That's what we're trying to go for because it is kind of nice. You've got that guy, like, let me be your car guy. You drop your car off, like I said, make your problem my problem. I'll take care of it. I'll figure it out. It makes it simple. A lot of people struggle. Like, I'm assuming you need to be able to drive to and from whatever appointments you have. How can you be without your car for a day? So here's a loaner car. Now, if you need an oil change, I'm probably not giving you a loaner for the day.
Right.
Like, you can wait 30 minutes,
Right.
But if you have something wrong with it and we need to do exhaust work, we need to do suspension work, you want to get your transmission flushed, like, here's a car, I'll give you a call at noon. You can drop my car off, pick your car up, and have a good day, So the loaner makes it very simple. And it allows my shop to work around everyone's schedule because let's face it, you're probably not exactly on time to everything, I know I'm not.
Right.
And so like, if we have an appointment at 9, I was banking on you being here at 9. Instead, why don't you drop it off at 8, grab a loaner, I'll work it in at 8:50 or 9:30 and get it done for you. And that way my shop can kind of work around your schedule as well as you can work around mine.
That's fantastic. I love that. You don't really see that at a lot of used car places. For instance, I don't want to rag on any brand, but you're not going to get that at let's say a Cars and Credit, something like that. And do you offer financing there too?
We've got all sorts of different financing. Yep. We I hate to say it, but bad credit, good credit, no credit, phenomenal credit. We work with local credit unions. We're always expanding that, trying to add more lenders. Just complete transparency. One of the biggest things we struggle with is the commercial lending. So like some of those box trucks that I have out there, I struggle to get financed through my banks. So if anyone's listening, shameless plug, like we could use some commercial type lending, but I'm working on that as well with a couple local banks in Owatonna. So
okay,
trying to figure something out, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, hey, we'll keep trying.
All right, local commercial lenders.
That's
Jacob
right.
at Waseca County Auto Sales. You should probably give them a call. That sounds good. That's really a full service used car dealership. That's pretty impressive, Jacob. And 7 years you've been at this?
Yep.
And tell me, how'd you get to Waseca? Because you didn't grow up here. And were you in the used car business before you got here?
So I've never sold anything in my life. I mean, obviously everyone's sold their old junker car before, what I mean? Something on the internet, but, I was never in sales. I was a journeyman pipe fitter. I did industrial construction. And I don't remember what year it was, 14, 15, my kid was crying in my driveway. Like, why do you always got to leave? I was in the truck going to Tennessee to go weld some Inconel piping, which you probably have no idea what I'm talking about.
I do not know what that is. Where were you living at the time?
In Waseca.
Oh, you were living in Waseca.
Yep.
Okay.
This is when I started the business. I guess reverse back. I moved here in 2010. My son, I had a child, and I'm not going to let my kid grow up without me. So
Right.
I was from Illinois. I was working in Fairmont, Minnesota, had a child, and sold everything in Illinois and bought a house in Waseca, Minnesota. Me and my mother went and traveled around the surrounding areas, and we were in Owatonna, we were in Waseca, we were in Albert Lea, we were in not as far north as the cities, but
Sure.
around that area. And me and her just happened to drive through Waseca and was like, this is awesome. We loved it. All the little shops, all the little things going on. Like, we drove downtown. It was just like, I grew up in Rochelle, Illinois, in small community, and we loved it. And so there was a house over by the old Central School that was up for, actually it was on a foreclosure. And so I put in an offer, bought a house, didn't have a job, didn't have anything, but bought this house and worked on my house for 2 or 3 months. And then it was like, man, it's time to get back to work, because I was blowing through my savings, and went to work for like 5 or 6 years for a company out of Mankato. And like I said, my kid was crying, and why are you always leaving? And it's like, well, I got to pay for this house somehow, and then I went to work up at the oil refinery for about a year, and I was like, I'm done. I'm tired of this. I'm done with it. Came home.
That's tough work.
Yeah. Came home to Kendall one day and said, I'm going to start a car dealership. And you're going to what? I'm like, I found a building on the south side of town. I'm going to buy it, and this is what I'm doing. And she's like, okay. I mean, she's like, well, I don't know really what to say, but it sounds like you've got a plan, and have fun.
Kenda had to have said more than okay.
She really,
Jacob.
She's been nothing but supportive. I bless her heart, living through the chaos of me. She deserves all the accolades. She really was. She's like, she has questions, but not, she's just like, okay, what's your plan? I'm like, well, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And it wasn't all planned out, but
Sure.
The business side of it was, I bought that building, and I kind of explained this to her. She's like, well, what do you need all this space for? I'm like, I really don't. But if I buy this building, I rent it out to 3 different people. And so I was able to start the business, and it cost me it cost me money, but it didn't cost me anything to open up every day, because the renters paid all my bills. And so I had money saved up. I had, a savings. I cashed out my 401k. I mean, I cashed in everything. It was all on the table. I was, for poker terms, I was all in,
Yeah.
and I had financing set up. I had liquid cash, and then I set up like what they call a floor plan, and had everything ready to rock and roll. We bought the building. It was May 1st. Or May 31st, I think May 1st. And then I spent a whole month kind of cleaning everything and going through and redoing the floors. And I did kind of all that stuff myself. Not that she helped as well, you know what I mean? But that was my full-time job for a month. And I think we technically opened up June 1st, and I think we sold our first car June 5th.
Hey, that's not too bad of a turnaround. I bet that took a lot of pressure off. Like, oh man, we got that first one sold.
It was terrifying, this guy's gonna give me, 15 grand for this car or whatever. It was like, it was wild, and now it's like, I look back and it's like, holy cow, we sold 5 cars today, and it's, so like,
Dang.
Going from, and actually, I mean, you've been around here forever. You remember what that lot looked like. It was, I hate to say it was a mud hole.
It was an eyesore.
It was. And so we made a couple bucks. I never took, so long story short, I've got rental properties that I've had for years. And so ever since we opened, I don't really take a paycheck from Waseca County Auto Sales. I just reinvest everything into Waseca County Auto Sales and live off of rental income.
Okay.
So when we got some extra cash, I'm done. This is stupid. I hate this lot. I don't want anything to do with it. I got a hold of a blacktop company, and we blacktopped a portion of it. Then the next spring came around, and it was a complete mud hole on this other side. this is dumb. I'm done with it. So I scrounged together the money and we ended up doing it all. And then this year, we did another strip of blacktop, and all my employees are like, what in the heck did we put this in for? Because all you did was fill it up with more cars and we still don't have any parking.
Oh, it looks fantastic though.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks unbelievable out there.
It makes it a lot easier to take care of the snow, and you're not tramping through the mud to go check out this car. It's easier to keep the vehicles clean.
Well, it looks great for your business, and it also makes the south entrance to Waseca more appealing.
First thing you see when you come into town.
Yes. So not only did you do a great thing for your business, you made an investment into Waseca. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that, because that's honestly, yes, of course I did it for my business, but that's the biggest thing. Like all I care about is I want to see Waseca grow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it expand. I want to see more business come to town and people prosper and give a place like. I need employees. Like I need more employees, and how do I get them to come to me? Well, we have to be growing as a community. Right?
Absolutely.
So,
and when businesses like yourself make those investments in their business, that too is an investment in our community.
100%.
I love seeing that. Love seeing it. You mentioned Kenda a little bit ago, who is your fiance, and both of you own businesses.
She's killing it. She opened with, she started with Waseca Integrated Therapy Hub and then rebranded to With Therapy Services. She's trying to move into that, I don't know what's it called, multi-practice. I'm not all up on the terms, but where she wants to be able to offer different disciplines, but she's primarily speech, and she started out, right by Linder's Liquors.
Yeah. Yes.
The Ameriprise building. And we just purchased a building downtown, right down from Keene Bank.
Yeah. Just down just south.
Yep. And so she's got, I think, 5 or 6 different offices in there. And she has three. She has 3 employees working for her now, plus her. Nice. And she has a place in Faribault. So
nice to see an expansion.
Oh yeah. She is killing it.
Talk about how 2 people owning businesses and having kids, how does that life go and how does that look?
Do you want one word? Chaos.
I bet.
She's at work generally till 6 o'clock. I'm at work until 6 o'clock minimum, and then my phone doesn't seem like it ends. We do it. It's extremely difficult. I think I almost feel bad saying this, but I feel like the kids might take some of the brunt of it. Like, they're at that age where they want us there, but they don't want us there. And so like, we're trying to figure out that happy median of, do you actually want me here? Or do you just want me here because you want to say that you want me here? You know?
And you've got the wallet.
Huh?
And you've got the wallet. That's what they want you there.
Just give me some jack, Dad. Give me some money and we'll be happy. I think we do a decent job of it. We could always do better. I'm one of those people that nothing's ever right. You could always make it better, right? But our kids see kind of the chaos that we live in. And I say chaos, it's not chaos, but it is busy. We are always going. I usually leave 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and don't get home until 6 o'clock at night. And that's usually 5 days a week, maybe 6. And then Kenda's usually 7:30. It was extremely important for her to like at least be able to see the kids before she leaves.
Sure.
And I feel bad saying that I should probably be there too, but it's like the only time I get for myself is at the very early mornings while everyone else is sleeping.
Right.
And so I go work out or do my own thing at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And Kenda has Fridays are kind of her, I don't know what you want to call it, like a workshop day where she does she catches up on all the stuff from the week. So she sees clients Monday through Thursday herself, and then her employees will see them Monday through Friday. So,
do your kids hang out at the dealership at all?
Not as much as they used to. That's a frustrating subject. It really is. They're trying to find their way. I think, they like the car a lot. They like they like everything, but they like just doing nothing as well. Like, and
how old are they?
They're 12 and 14.
Oh yeah.
So they're still kind of like, this is dumb. Like, I don't want to do this. And they have an attention span like I do. Like if they're washing a car, it's like, this is fun for 10 minutes. And then I just want to go play, you know?
Yeah.
And so we just kind of, I don't have that dream of like, my kids are going to own this someday. Like if they want to, God bless them. Like they can have it and we'll figure that out. But I want them to do whatever it is that makes them tick. Just because I enjoy this business doesn't mean you have to, and it doesn't mean you have to own a business. I tell my kids all the time, if you're going to be a janitor, just be the best darn janitor there is. Like, I don't care. Like there's honor in every single job that you do. And you only get what you put into it. You only get out of it what you put into it. So if they want to do it, Ben's talked about like he wants to be a mechanic or a construction worker or this or that. And it's like, if that's what you want to do, I'm 100% in. I don't care. Like it's just whatever makes you smile and whatever makes you happy.
Right. And they may change midstream in their 20s or 30s, just like you did.
Yep. 100%. Like when I started welding, I was 18, 19, something like that, maybe 19. And it was always a beginning to an end for me. I started like that. I knew I could go make a boatload of money being a welder, and I didn't have family. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a girlfriend. I didn't have anything. I got to travel the countryside on their dime and make a boatload of money doing it. But it was always a beginning to an end. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up. I still don't know what I want to do. Like, is this the end? No. Like, this is just the beginning. This is just another stepping stone to whatever's next. Not that I'm going to close the dealership tomorrow, but I want to do more, whatever that means, whether it's more construction type stuff or investments, owning a different type of business. I've always had this infatuation with a restaurant. Like I've always wanted to own my own restaurant. I know it's a deep, dark hole that like is extremely difficult. And so, and it takes a lot of time, and time's something I don't have, not a lot of. And so like, is that going to be what I do? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But, you're never too old to start, you're never too old to go do anything.
Absolutely. And I think you're proving that, because I think there's probably more adventures in the horizon for Jacob.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. My big adventure is December 1st. I'm getting married. So that's going to be,
that's going to be Jacob's biggest adventure.
That's right.
Biggest adventure. What's your favorite car? What's your dream car?
That's funny that you say that. He's Nick's seen it. When I worked at a dealership, I worked at a Ford dealership when I was 15 detailing cars, and they always had these Shelby GTs in there. And I'm like, I'm going to own one of these one day. And so I was at the auction buying cars up in Minneapolis, and I got a phone call from a guy I know, or actually I got a text from a guy I know in Arkansas. Hey, I got to pay my taxes. Do you want to buy my Shelby GT 500? I'm like, what? Like, yeah, like I just like second take. I'm like, I want to buy it, but like, what do you want for it? And so actually this year I bought a 2022 Shelby GT 500 with like 3,600 miles on it, 760 horse. It's got carbon fiber track pack. It is a lot of fun to drive. It's really cool. It's got a backseat delete. So like the kid, like that's the crappy part, is the kids can't ride in the back of it. Me and Kendra could ride in it, or I could take the kids for a ride.
Oh, bummer. The kids can't come.
But they can't fit in the back,
Shoot.
Yep. So that's sitting in the showroom at work. And, it's for sale. It's out there for sale.
What? You have your dream car and it's for sale?
The hardest part is I've had it.
Yeah.
I've drove it. I had fun with it.
Yeah.
Like another thing that would be really awesome is like, I've always wanted to drive a Ferrari too. So why not sell this and like step up to something different? Like I don't really have an emotional attachment to per se a car. I bought a Chevelle, a 71 Chevelle from an estate years ago, and I still have it. It's in the back shed. It drives great. It's a lot of fun to drive. I don't really get that. I don't really get that emotional attachment to them.
Sure.
I am business through and through. I would, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. But everything's for sale, like if a guy comes in or a girl comes in and they want to buy it, like I'm not going to give it away for free.
Sure.
But if you want to buy it, it's here. Let's make a deal.
But you've had your experience with it. You've had your fun. And now someone else can have that experience and fun.
That's right. And you know what? If 10 years from now, I'm like, God, I should have never sold that car. You know what? I can go buy another one. Like it's not like it's the only one in the world,
Right.
But I wouldn't be sad if it was there next summer and I just had to drive it around for a little bit more.
Right. That wouldn't hurt your feelings at all.
Yeah.
You prefer a classic car, a modern day, or a concept car? What's going to really get Jacob excited?
So I like the modern cars for one simple reason. I can hop in that and I can drive to California tomorrow and not think twice about it.
Mm-hmm.
You jump in that classic car. It's great fun around here. That Chevelle that I've had, every time me and Ken to go out to go on a date or to go do something, let's take this car. I've had to get a tow truck because the distributor cap takes a crap or the fuel pump's doing something and it's like, it's always something because it is a true classic type car. It doesn't have like a modern LS motor in it or something. It is an old carbureted car with an old 4-speed, so I like the idea of being able to just like, let's go like Chippewa Falls, Birchwood, like that area. That's a beautiful area to go drive around. I can't take that car there because I don't know how far I'm going to make it or if I'm going to make it home.
Gives you that peace of mind. With
for sure.
Car.
I've got this much time. And so I want to make sure that much time I can go enjoy it and not be stuck in the back of on the back of a tow truck.
Right. Oh, so. I understand that. Tell me about, since you've moved to Waseca, you've opened the business. Tell me what being in Waseca and having a business here has meant to you.
It means the world. Like the people that I get to meet that's fun. Like, some days it's hard, just being transparent. Some days, like you get that guy that comes in and he wants to talk for 3 hours and it's like, man, I really like hearing about this, but I've got a lot of stuff I got to get done. That part's hard, but 99.9% of the time it's how many people walk in and say, I used to buy tractors out of this building because it was Cubist implement,
Yeah.
I remember where the parts window was right over here, oh my gosh, look at what you've done to this place. This looks amazing. I've knock on wood, I've never got anything but just positive, it's everyone around here is pretty darn open arms. They're pretty supportive. I hear from other people. No one's ever said this to me, but what's that kid doing down on the south side of town? Like that's like, what in the world did he buy those for? Why, to me, that's fun. Like, you don't need to know why I bought that, but watch it disappear because I'll make it leave one way or another.
Yep, because it won't be there in 2 weeks.
That's right. And so it's just fun. Like, all the different personalities and stuff that walk through the door.
Absolutely. I think it can be difficult sometimes in Waseca because if you're not born here or didn't graduate here, it's just like, oh, who's this guy? Who's Jacob Doherty? Well, he's a guy who opened a business here. He's made massive investments into his business in this community. So if you live here, if you work here, if you own a business here, you're a Wasecan, and that's all it takes.
I agree. And at the very, very beginning, let's be honest, like it was like, who are you and what are you doing here? And you get to sit down and talk to somebody and then it's like, well, cool. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Of course, everyone's kind of like, who's this slimy car guy coming in here going to try to sell me some hunk of junk? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Let's just be honest. And as they get to know who you are and, you tell them you're going to do this and you do this, like, well, you can't be mad at me. I told you this is what I was going to do, And so once you kind of prove that you might be doing what you say you're going to be doing, they can't argue with it. You know, you can't be mad about it. So it's been great.
Good. I'm glad you're having a positive experience in this community, because I think you're giving back a positive experience with the used cars that you're selling. And I love that you post on Facebook that when you have somebody buy a car, and I bet there's people who, if they don't get their picture up, they want to know where's my picture? I bought a car from you. I
have had that. I feel like I go in spurts, and it's not good, but it's the truth. Some months it's like, holy cow, we get all of them in there. And the months that you don't see as many, usually that's just because I've been slacking.
Sure.
It's we generally sell a decent amount of vehicles. Last month was our best month ever. But we generally sell quite a few vehicles, and sometimes I'm just not on top of the ball.
It's tricky. It's tricky to get those pictures up.
Yeah.
People don't realize there's a lot of time in putting together social media posts, even though you think it's just taking a picture and just putting up a caption. It's a lot of work.
Well, sometimes it's like, I did sell 4 cars today, or I did sell 6 cars today. And it's like, I don't want to flood Facebook with 6 different pictures either.
Right.
You know,
right.
So sometimes I will, my little secret, spread them out a little bit. So one day I'll do 1, Tuesday I'll do 1, Thursday I'll do 2. You know what I mean? And try to spread it out a little bit. But no, I have had people that are like, well, what? Am I not cute enough to be on your Facebook? Like, what's wrong here? And so like they get kind of salty a little bit if you don't get their picture up. But we try to make sure they get up there.
I think it's a great promotional tool when you put people's pictures up, and where they're from too, because I think that tells people from Waseca that people are coming from all over to not only come to Waseca, but to use your business. It's a testament to the quality of Waseca County Auto Sales.
We appreciate that. I don't know the numbers, but we have a lot of people that come from all over. Local, or actually yesterday we sold 2 cars, but they're going both locally. And I was talking to a guy, we got a phone call about this Toyota, and he was from like 3.5 hours away. And then the next day, this guy came in and he's like, I really like this car. I'm like, I pray that you buy it, because he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, when we're riding our bikes around town, or we're going out for breakfast or whatever, my kids always see that little emblem on the back of the car. I love, like, hey, look, did you sell that one? Like, no, I just stuck the sticker on the back of it. I just go around the parking lots and stick the sticker.
Just slapping that sticker on cars.
But I love seeing them around town. When we ride our bikes around town and stuff all the time, and the kids are, look, there's another one. And so like, that's fun for us.
Yeah, that's got to be cool for them to see their dad's product out there.
Yeah.
That's neat. Well, Jacob, before we wrap up, last question is, when you were 17 and before the kids' family reality set in, what did you envision yourself doing for a living? And I know you said you really didn't have a plan, but what did you think, like, yeah, this is what Jacob's going to be doing?
So I don't know what I was going to be doing, but I did. I always wanted to own a business. So when I was 9 years old, I had a paper route. My mom worked at the paper. I wasn't supposed to be able to start till I was 10, but she got me in. So I started that. And then I started mowing yards. And so I found businesses, and I made out my own invoices and everything and handed those out. I always wanted, it was like an investment, like a stockbroker type guy. A lawyer and a business owner. And it was kind of like in between all that. But I would say more later on, nothing against school. I just didn't like school. I went for 1 semester of college and hated it. And so I'm done with this. So I would say later on, it was, I'm going to own a business. I don't know what it is. I don't have a clue. I always thought I'm not smart enough to like make something, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I want to own a business and be my own boss. So that was always kind of where my head was at.
Well, you own a business, you've made investments, and you deal with a lot of legal documents. So I think you came really close on those other 2, Jacob.
I love how you wrap that all together.
I think this was a lot of fun. I'm glad you joined me today. I'm glad we found the time. And Waseca County Auto Sales is just a great addition to the Waseca community. So thank you so much for the investments that you've made in our community and what you do for Waseca.
You're very welcome, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to our sponsors, Bird's Eye Foods and Itron. Without them, we could not tell the big stories of our small town. And thank you to our production team, Small Town Media and Production. Join us next time for another episode of Waseca Small Town Big Stories.